Stop everything right now, because what has allegedly leaked out of the Harvey family circle is not just ordinary gossip. According to circulating claims and unverified insider chatter, it is being described as a full-blown emotional detonation that is shaking parts of Hollywood in ways people say they have not seen in years. While the public was still celebrating Michael B. Jordan's Oscar moment as a defining milestone in his career, something very different was allegedly unfolding behind closed doors, and the version being shared online paints it as chaotic, emotional, and deeply fractured rather than celebratory. Insiders whose identities remain unconfirmed are now claiming that the reaction inside the Harvey circle was so intense and emotionally charged that it reportedly damaged the carefully maintained public image surrounding the family. The most shocking element of these circulating claims is not just what allegedly happened, but who is said to have spoken about it. According to online whispers and private forum discussions, Brandy Harvey is the name being attached to the exposure. And if these claims are to be believed, she did not hint at anything subtly or indirectly, but instead allegedly spoke in a raw and unfiltered way that left very little room for interpretation. The story being repeated online begins with the night of the Oscars. According to these narratives, the moment Michael B. Jordan's name was announced and the Oscar win became reality, the atmosphere inside the Harvey household allegedly shifted instantly. While the world saw celebration, the claims suggest a completely different emotional response behind closed doors. Lori Harvey is described in these accounts as not celebrating, not smiling, and not engaging in any visible excitement. Instead, she allegedly froze in place, as if overwhelmed by the moment unfolding on screen. That silence, according to these circulating stories, was followed by an emotional escalation inside the environment she was in. Some claims describe raised voices, others mention doors slamming, and a few even allege objects being thrown, although none of these details have been verified. What remains consistent across the various versions of the story is the idea that the reaction was immediate, intense, and difficult for those present to manage. People allegedly inside the situation reportedly did not know whether to comfort her or step away entirely. One of the most repeated claims in this narrative is that Lori allegedly attempted to reach out to Michael B. Jordan shortly after the win. However, according to these unverified reports, those attempts were met with complete silence. No response, no acknowledgement, and no return communication. In the way the story is being told online, that silence is said to have intensified the emotional reaction, creating a spiral of frustration and disbelief that grew rather than settled over time. The most controversial part of the entire narrative begins with the alleged involvement of Brandy Harvey. According to circulating claims, she did not remain a passive observer, but instead allegedly began discussing the situation privately before eventually speaking about it more openly depending on the version being shared. Some accounts suggest she described Lori's reaction as emotionally overwhelming, while others claim her statements went further, offering interpretations about expectations, timing, and emotional control. One widely circulated but unverified quote suggests that Lori was not reacting to Michael himself, but rather to what he had become without her. This alleged statement has spread widely across social platforms because it reframes the situation entirely, shifting it from a simple emotional reaction to something tied to perception, timing, and personal expectation. Whether or not it is accurate remains unconfirmed, but it has become a central point in the online discussion. As these claims spread, social media reactions allegedly escalated rapidly. Hashtags began trending, users resurfaced old interviews, and past public appearances were re-examined under new interpretations. Moments that were previously considered neutral or unrelated were now being analyzed as if they contained hidden meaning. In this environment, narrative building overtook verified fact, and speculation became the dominant force shaping public perception. Another layer of the circulating claims suggests that Lori's reaction was not a single isolated moment, but part of a broader emotional response. Some unverified accounts describe repeated attempts to process the situation emotionally, including messages and calls that allegedly went unanswered. One phrase that appears frequently in online retellings is "this was not supposed to happen like this," although there is no confirmation that this was ever actually said. As the story continued to evolve online, It allegedly caused tension within the Harvey family circle itself. Some claims suggest there were internal disagreements about how to respond publicly, whether to remain silent, or whether any acknowledgement should be made at all. One commonly repeated line attributed to internal discussions is "Don't make this worse than it already is." Although this too remains unverified and part of circulating speculation rather than confirmed fact. What makes this situation more complex is how quickly interpretation began replacing evidence. Michael B. Jordan's silence was interpreted in multiple ways by different audiences, ranging from emotional detachment to professional focus. Lori Harvey's silence was similarly interpreted as either emotional processing or strategic withdrawal. Meanwhile, Brandy Harvey's alleged involvement became the most debated aspect of all, with people divided on whether she was revealing truth or being pulled into a narrative beyond her control. As more alleged leaks surfaced, including screenshots and claimed private messages, the situation became increasingly fragmented. One recurring claim suggested that someone close to the situation believed Michael B. Jordan had already reached his peak before his recent success. While widely shared, this claim has not been verified and remains part of the broader rumor ecosystem surrounding the story. Indirect reactions from unrelated public figures also allegedly began appearing online in the form of vague posts about timing, growth, and underestimation. However, none of these posts directly referenced any individuals involved, and their connection to the situation is based entirely on interpretation rather than confirmation. Another widely circulated claim involves alleged paparazzi footage showing Lori Harvey shortly after the Oscars, where she is described as appearing tense and avoiding engagement with questions. In one commonly repeated version of the story, she is asked whether she is proud of Michael B. Jordan but does not respond. However, this footage has not been verified in any official capacity. As the narrative continued to expand, public opinion split sharply. Some people viewed the situation as an emotional misunderstanding amplified by social media speculation, while others treated it as a deeper story about relationships, timing, and perception. A third group dismissed the entire situation as internet fiction built on assumptions and recycled rumors. The most recent wave of circulating claims suggests that Brandy Harvey may allegedly have access to additional information not yet shared publicly. One alleged statement attributed to her reads, "I haven't even shown everything yet." Though there is no evidence confirming the authenticity of this message, it remains part of the ongoing cycle of unverified content that continues to shape the narrative. Ultimately, what is unfolding online is less about confirmed events and more about how quickly stories can grow, evolve, and multiply in the absence of verified information. This situation has become a case study in how modern digital narratives form, where interpretation often overtakes fact and speculation becomes entertainment. At its core, this is a story still being shaped by claims, reactions, and evolving online discussion. And as with many viral narratives, what is believed, what is implied, and what is real are not always the same thing.